He never expected that one morning would rewrite his entire life. He never expected to open his eyes, turn his head, and see her sleeping beside him, wearing nothing but his oversized shirt. But even that wasn't the part that left him paralyzed. It was what she whispered when she woke up. Words that would change everything he thought he knew about himself. Malik Bishop had survived heartbreak, fatherhood, poverty, betrayal, and the kind of loneliness a man hides behind quiet smiles. But nothing prepared him for the moment the most powerful woman in the city opened her eyes, looked straight into his soul, and said what no one had ever dared to tell him. This is how it happened. And why it changed everything. Malik's alarm rang at 5:45 a.m., same as always. Get up. Make breakfast. Pack Ava's lunch. Get her to school. Do odd jobs until his next shift. Try not to think about how tired he was. But that morning felt strange. The sheets smelled different. Warmth beside him. Slow breathing. A presence. He blinked, turned. And his heart almost jumped out of his chest. A woman was lying there. A woman he recognized instantly. Smooth caramel skin, soft waves of hair spilling across his pillow, long lashes resting gently on her cheeks. Her hand curled under her chin like she was trying to guard something fragile. She was wearing his shirt. His favorite gray one. And she wasn't just any woman. It was her. Danica Hart. The youngest, most feared, most brilliant CEO in the state. A woman whose signature alone moved millions. The same woman whose company fired him 6 months ago because cost efficiency meant removing people like him. But what was she doing here? Why his shirt? Why his bed? He froze, but not because of shock. Because he suddenly remembered everything from last night. The rainstorm. The accident downtown. The woman stranded by the curb with a broken heel and a fear in her eyes that didn't match someone so powerful. The way she'd whispered, "Please. I just need somewhere safe for a moment." And how he, against all logic, said yes. But that didn't explain this. Before he could step away from the bed, her eyes opened. Bright, sharp, but soft in the morning light. She blinked once, twice, focusing on him. "Good morning, Malik," she whispered. He couldn't breathe. How do you know my name?" She smiled then. Not the cold corporate smile she wore on magazine covers. This one was tired. Human. Real. "I know more about you than you think." He swallowed. That didn't sound comforting at all. She sat up, the shirt slipping slightly off her shoulder. He forced himself to look away. "Danica, why are you here?" His voice cracked. She looked down at her hands. The woman who commanded entire boardrooms suddenly looked small. "I came because I needed the truth," she said. "And because of what I'm about to tell you." He braced himself. "Malik. I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't know what they did to you. I didn't know you were fired because of me. And I didn't know, until last night, who you truly were." He stared at her. Disbelief. Anger. Confusion. All tangled in one. "What does that even mean?" he asked. Her eyes lifted, shimmering with something he couldn't name. "It means," she said softly, "that you saved me long before last night. You just didn't know it." Then she told him everything. From the night she read the anonymous letter written by a former worker describing a single father who never complained despite everything. To the quiet kindness he'd shown coworkers. To the dignity he carried even when invisible. "I've been looking for you," she said. 4 months. His throat tightened. It didn't make sense. None of this made sense. "Why?" he whispered. She took a slow breath. As if this was the moment she feared most. Because, she said gently, I think you're the only person I've met in years who sees me, not the CEO, not the headlines, not the power. Just me. And last night, something became very clear. He held his breath. She touched his hand, carefully, like she was afraid he might pull away. Malik, you're the reason I'm here. You're the reason I want to make things right. And you're the reason I woke up today feeling something I haven't felt in years. The room went silent. Hope. He froze. No one had ever said anything like that to him. Not his ex. Not friends. Not even family. Hope. Him. Before he could respond, a small voice came from outside the door. Daddy? I'm hungry. Ava. He panicked. She couldn't see this woman here. Not like this. But Danica whispered, it's okay. Let me meet her. His heart stopped. That's not a good idea, he said quickly. But before he could stop her, she stood, adjusted his shirt, and opened the door. Ava blinked up at her. Danica bent down to eye level, a gentle smile growing on her lips. You must be Ava, she said warmly. And you're, in my daddy's shirt, Ava replied bluntly. Malik nearly fainted. But Danica laughed, a soft, free laugh that didn't match her public image at all. You're very smart, she said. And your daddy is very brave. Ava looked confused. Danica looked at Malik. And in that moment, something shifted between all three of them. A connection neither of them had planned. A beginning none of them had expected. The rest of the day unfolded like a slow unraveling of secrets. Danica revealing the truth of her loneliness. Malik revealing his fear of trusting again. And Ava reminding them both, without knowing, what being a family feels like. But just when Malik thought the day had given him enough shocks, Danica approached him again before leaving. Malik, she said softly, I have one more thing I have to tell you. He turned. Heart pounding. She stepped closer. Close enough that he could see the tremble in her hands. What I said this morning, about hope, she swallowed hard. It's because last night, when I was scared, when I had no one to call, the first person I thought of was you. Even before I ever met you. He couldn't speak. And I don't know what happens next, she continued, but I know this. I don't want this day to be the last time I see you. His heartbeat slammed in his chest. She leaned close and whispered the words that froze him completely. Please, let this be the beginning. Then she walked away, leaving him in the doorway with a shaking breath, a racing heart, and a feeling he hadn't allowed himself in years. The feeling of being chosen.